This is Ferdi and this is Chris.
Hallo.
And today we're going to watch one of Emily's matches from the IBJJF Munich Open in February.
Oh, they are energized. Oh,
I don't like that backpedaling.
hmm.
Not a big fan. Her opponent basically runs her over, and if she'd be a better wrestler, there's ankle picks. If she had better judo, there'd be foot sweeps. So look at this. Center of gravity way out over the feet.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And the refs even stopping the action because they're off the center. Yeah.
They're off the mat. Again. Push, 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 push. And outside. Thing is, what could Emily do better here? Besides just running back. What do you think?
Well, it really depends on the situation here. So in this case, I think her opponent wanted to provoke some reaction from her, maybe some pushing back. So pro point, she avoided that. She didn't push into her opponent. Con, she didn't really make use of the push of the opponent. So but there's different options here depending on the situation. She could change levels, go for the legs, but the grips could make it difficult. But some classic judo answer to pushing force of the opponent would be to go for tomoe-nage. So basically put the foot in the belly, sit down, pull over. Worst case scenario, it's a pull, you don't get the sweep. Best case scenario, you send her flying, land on top, get the points. So I would have loved to see Emily go for some kind of sweep pull tomoe-nage right there.
Yeah. Back to center.
They had a short scenario where they were like turning around each other. That's also one potential setup. But yeah, now the other girl is starting to shake her up, and oh, okay, yeah.
Let's go
Things went
back a
to the
little
floor.
here. Because now the other girl feels that she can bully Emily in the stand-up, basically. And this is what us judo guys are doing. If we see you running, grab the collar and we yank you up and down.
Yeah.
Foot sweep attempt and then the pull, which is not optimal coming off the sweep.
Yeah, she was way off balance. I mean, it wasn't a clean takedown, but they kind of had contact, foot to thigh,
Hop, hop,
lower
hop.
leg.
And then
She caught her balance in a squat for a moment before she pulled. I think that could have saved her from the score of her opponent. I don't know yet.
yeah. Good referee just
Let's see what.
like good referee work there. Because the ref doesn't give her opponent the 2 points, so that's good referee work.
Yeah, but don't count on that.
Unfortunately. We have a De La Hiva hook here and a same side collar grip, which isn't doing her much good right now.
Mm. Yeah, the same side collar isn't really much use outside of the standing game.
Yeah.
She clearly has some pull on it. So yeah, of course you can pull with the same side lapel, but I think a cross collar grip would have been better to control the distance because with a cross collar you can pull and push. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I saw that correctly, her opponent smashed her down into some kind of, yeah, I don't know, prone, lying down, flat butterfly guard. I think she could have prevented that a little bit with the cross collar.
Yeah. So she smashes, Emily gets the hook back in, and we have
Yeah,
here this flattened out butterfly guard.
Yeah, her right hand was far outside, so she didn't really have any way to counter this, and now she's flat. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can work from there, and she reset the grips. So
Yeah, here you can see what you said.
Mhm.
The arm is out of position, and then it's
Yeah.
just smashing down. And we're here.
Yeah, but let's go a few frames further. She reset the grip on the belt. Yeah, there we go.
We have a better.
Let's get a better angle, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So that was a smart grip change, I think, to get to the belt. It's a good control option. And on the other side, she has the arm wrapped, I think, and a grip on the tricep of her opponent. So she made the best of the situation, I guess. So she has some options from there. So if you want to play the butterfly game, which is recommended in this kind of distance, she could use the belt and the tricep to pull her opponent over her own center of gravity and then kick her back. It's kind of a staple butterfly guard move if you play it, just to get it back into a seated position. Because if you don't sit in the butterfly guard, you have no momentum going for you. So less control than your opponent has over you.
So yeah, pull and then push and extend and get back to seating. That's super important.
Yeah. I mean, you could potentially play from there, but it's not a good position to sweep or go into any kind of offense, in my opinion.
So let's see what she's doing. Foot on the hip and
Okay, extracted the foot. Okay.
extracts the foot, grabs,
Grabs it. Flexible.
pulls it across the shoulders, still has the belt grip, and her opponent has this arm free now. That's pretty much the only thing that's not under control at this point. Which is bad.
Yeah, posture's down.
Because that's what she uses to steps over the leg. Unfortunately.
Let's move back a few frames again. Maybe let's think about the options here. So she has the posture broken down. She has her own shin controlled, but she's not controlling the right arm from our perspective. So I think it's not the worst thing to do to grab the shin. Not sure what she's going for. I mean, like a classic double attack from here would be omoplata and triangle. She likes omoplata, so I think that's what she was going for. But she didn't quite reach the angle to go for the omoplata.
And I think, unfortunately, her own arm that's still grabbing the belt is preventing her from getting to the angle that she needs for the omoplata. And this leg, which her opponent will step over in a few seconds, like the best option would have been to pull that in and get it in front of her opponent's arm here. And then she has the double attack.
Yeah. Get some control like in the inside position. So she's controlling the inside of she has the posture. She's kind of controlling the inside on the left from the outside, so to speak. I don't know whether she should have kept the belt grip, to be honest. She had the posture control via the leg, and she could have like scooted the hip out to the left, insert her own arm on the right side, get the elbow and the knee together, and hook the heel into the far trap of her opponent. So I think Danaher calls it the clamp position, where you have the inside control with the shin and the top control with the other leg. And from there, you can launch your omoplata, armbar, triangle attacks as much as you like without being in a much of a risky position. But yeah, as you said, she didn't control the inside space there, and her opponent stepped over the leg, and then the offense is basically done for.
And now it's defense. As soon as the leg is smashed, we're in a half guard position.
Yeah, not a good half guard position, sadly. Yeah, her opponent is doing good work here. She basically took the crossface right away. She's controlling the pants, which is unorthodox, but at purple belt things change a little bit.
And you can still see the crossface here. That's a pretty brutal crossface that's in.
Yeah.
Controls the pants.
It sucks.
Okay,
now she's...
Oh, that's nice, the scoop. Scoop grip.
Yeah, she's doing kind of a like reverse sit, half guard passing, and gets the pass. And she's tenacious. I don't know, she basically had like 3 attempts.
Let's go back to
never stopped.
Let's go back to here, because I think that starts here.
Emily has some kind of, I don't know, knee shield in there, don't you think?
Which,
but it's not
unfortunately, is pretty worthless at this point because of the crossface. Like, if you're forced to basically look in the other direction and your knee shield is only in because of hip flexibility and spine flexibility, yeah, you're gonna get passed.
It's a struggle. I mean, yeah, the knee shield normally serves as kind of a distance control tool, so you can basically get rid of chest-to-chest position of your opponent and extract your neck from there, but the crossface is so deep, and I think she also has a collar grip.
Yeah.
I think there's not that much of a chance to separate there. But you have to try.
Obviously.
I mean, it's a battle.
I mean,
it's a battle.
Emily is fighting a weight class up here, so
Yeah.
it's an uphill battle from the start.
It's hard. It sucks. I've been there.
So, smash, and now the scoop grip, which gets rid of the knee shield entirely, basically.
Kills it completely.
And now, like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, even one more. Okay. That scoop grip is gold here because she's controlling the direction of Emily's hips.
Let's get back a little and...
Not a bad pass.
Scoop grip. So, let's get a little bit deeper here.
Oh, it's drawing time. Yeah.
Scoop grip. Which is... That's clutch. As well as the crossface here. Because Emily's hips are now forced in that direction. Both on this side, or her entire body is faced, is turned away from her opponent. And that's the thing you don't want to have in an half guard.
No.
So, and then it's just a matter of flexing and pulling that leg back out. So now that leg just has to back step to here, which is easier against opponents with shorter legs, which unfortunately Emily right now is. So, and backstep, 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 backstep.
She likes her backsteps.
And side control.
Yeah, that's the thing with half guard. It's a lot of micro battles, and if you if you lose them, things go down drain pretty quickly. She mounted really, really, really fast there.
Emily doesn't stop fighting, which is good. Oh, that's nice.
A lot of stuff going on.
Speaking of micro battles. Speaking of micro battles, that starts basically here. As soon as we have a mount established, Emily starts fighting with her feet, while her opponent doesn't cross her own feet underneath Emily's butt, which would have made it even harder to escape mount here.
Yeah.
But Emily is fighting with her feet, pulls them in, and now pushes the leg down, but gets her elbow in, and she closes the elbow-knee space here, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of those, like you called them, micro battles. If you win this, get your knee and your elbow together, it's super hard for the person on top to mount any serious offense. So it would have been like best for her opponent to re-establish mount here. She's going for S mount, which makes it actually easier for Emily to get elbow knee connection. But as soon as the elbow knee connection there is set, Emily is mostly safe.
Good reaction there, really good. This could have been match ending
Yes.
if her opponent had a tight S mount. Oh, that's tough.
Like elbow knee connection is there.
Stays there
We have
mostly.
like even with the face push there, elbow knee connection is still like mostly established, and with this, even if her opponent now would be able to attack the near side arm from her opponent's point of view speaking, so even if she'd be able to attack this arm by falling back, Emily can yank her own elbow towards her ribs, where it's pretty close anyways, and turn with her in that direction and come out on top. So yeah.
I think she managed to get her forearm even deeper. I think her knee slipped out a little bit, but the forearm got deeper.
Yeah. Good stuff here.
Purple belts.
And now...
Ah, she snuck the shin in. Nice.
Opponent wants to reestablish. Emily gets the shin hook back in, and we're back to guard. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
Looking good on the escape side.
And now we had the... it's hard to see, but now we have the cross collar grip that you alluded to earlier, which is good. And now you see her opponent struggling to get back up. Like,
yeah. Posture's bent over. She's nearly falling down.
and
That's an interesting situation.
Oh.
What is this?
Let's go to here. I need something to draw. I need a good frame to draw, because there's a pretty nice attack that she could have gone for.
It's kind of a weird inversion situation.
Yeah. So
those are yours, man. I'm out of there.
We start here, and the triangle is not there because Emily's bottom leg is out of position here.
Kind of between the legs, stuck
Yes.
even.
It's kind of in between the legs, and her opponent has a grip on it. So you continue.
Yeah, there.
And now the head slips out. And from here, Emily has two choices to make. And she chooses to go for the omoplata side, which is hard because her leg is still somewhat trapped in between all of this. See here? Her leg is... Opponent extracts her head. And now, to go for an omoplata, Emily would have to get this leg, wait, wrong color, this leg around this arm, which means it has to go from in front of her opponent to besides her opponent.
Could be hard because of the grip, no?
Yes. But there's a different option.
Some spinning inversion shit coming right up, I feel it.
If Emily smacks the back of her knee against her opponent's face here, I need an arm.
That sounds nasty. I don't know if I want to have any part in this.
I need an arm. So we have her opponent's arm in some configuration, either this way or that way. Which the exact configuration is not as important. But what's important is that we have space between her opponent's armpit and her knee. And we know that space between elbow and knee, or armpit and knee, that's the most important space in Jiu-Jitsu. So, Emily needs to occupy that space. And she can do so by A, smacking this leg into her opponent's face, and getting her other leg from underneath inside that space. And she does that by rotating around her opponent's arm in that direction. She rotates around here and comes out in an armbar.
Yeah, that's nice because her opponent is also leaning over. So at the very least, it would make her react by backing off, or even maybe she could sweep from there.
Yes. She either sweeps to the armbar, like to the spiderweb position, whatever you want to call it, or her opponent, which right now is unbalanced to the front, reacts to the face push with like trying to go even further down with her head, which allows for a belly down armbar.
Well, glad we drew with color.
So
let's see how it plays out.
well, we know how it plays out. Emily, unfortunately, doesn't get the omoplata, and like that's the issue we talked about. Her leg is still stuck.
Well, in that case, she's even keeping it there, no? Grip is off. But then she regripped. Okay. You think she could have yanked the arm further in for the omoplata, or would that be useless?
Hard, I think, because her opponent is probably stronger, and she yanks downwards from like not a good yanking position, basically. That's hard.
But now she has a better guard situation going on.
Yes.
Some kind of a lasso, cross grip, spider guard situation. And the number 3 life is.
So she has the cross collar, spider on the other side, and here she's already past her opponent's shoulder with that foot.
Looking good there.
That's, like from here she can attack the omoplata like really nicely. She pulls down.
Yeah, she's working on it.
And gets the leg over. That's unfortunate. Let's get
that was close, man. But
let's get back a little. Here, I think that's
that's a split second. She was on her way up to block the way.
Yeah.
Just quarter of a second too slow.
And I think what would have like tiny adjustment there. Don't go for the triangle right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, there she goes for the triangle. Instead of doing that, at this point here, keep the grip and extend both legs forward to break your opponent down so she can't jump.
Yeah, way better leverage than with the triangle.
Yeah. Don't go for the triangle right away. Kick. And then triangle. Come up, triangle to finish. Tiny adjustment. Because the rest of it was excellent. And now her opponent jumps. Gets half the way over.
Yeah. Those situations, those are the very unpleasant scrambles when you fail the omoplata. That's interesting. Feet kind of hooked in. Okay. Opponent gets the sweep, pushes her over, just smashes past the guard. Damn.
Bulldozing.
Yeah, that's the thing with fighting one weight class higher. Damn.
And second part of the match.
Oh, Shares. Oh, that's an interesting situation right there.
That's
She
you.
attempted.
Man.
So it's kind of a good attempt at getting into a butterfly sweep, but she's controlling the wrong limb there. She has the pant grip with her right hand on the knee, left underhook, and left elevator, and she has good extension in her right leg to elevate her own hips for the sweep, but she didn't kill the post. She has no control over her opponent's post, which is why the sweep was doomed to fail, unfortunately. It could have been a good entry into leg locking attacks, like some kind of Ashigurami X-guard situation. Oh, well, you can at least go for the sweeps from there.
True.
Or control. Have to be careful where you grip, but it's kind of the domain of like in close quarter inside space guards.
Yeah.
Stated more broadly. So she made good use of the elevator hook, but the pant grip at this point made not so much sense.
So don't grab here. Try and kill this post.
Yeah. Try to get some outside sleeve grip. The normal forefinger grip wouldn't suffice because the other girl could still post. Really get kind of a pistol grip on the outside of the sleeve. And then you can effectively kill the post, or at least keep the post where it is and continue hopping until the other girl falls over. Let's see how it played out. Yeah,
Back to half.
other girl backstepped out of it, smash half guard. The other girl did her homework on half guard passing. She's immediately going for some kind of head control, keeping the base low. I can't really see what her right hand is doing, but I guess she's switching between underhook and pant grip as she did before. Emily gets the elevator hook in again, tries another time for a sweep, and can you pause right there? Go a few frames back, 1 or 2. Yeah, there we go. This would be one of the classic examples where you could switch from half guard into some kind of ashigarami single leg X stuff. She has the elevator inside, but she's fighting one weight class higher, so I can imagine that the other girl was just too heavy on top. But normally, if you fight in your own weight class, you can extend the elevator hook and put the other foot right over on the hip for the single leg X ashigarami situation. So that would be one potential opening. If your opponent is always basing with their hands and you cannot stop them from doing so, their legs become lighter.
Yeah. Would it be X guard possible here as well?
Yeah, potentially. I can't really say whether she has any control over the other leg.
Yeah.
Potentially, but it's hard to get into normal X guard without first establishing control on the near leg. The base is just too low for that.
Yeah.
So I
Single X.
either way I'd start with extending the elevator hook. So trying to get the weight of my opponent off of me and then see how it goes.
Yeah. Right. Let's continue from here.
Yeah, she's kind of staying there. Yeah, but the directionality of her force was to the wrong side. I think she opted rather to go for some kind of other guard. Can't really see what she's doing with the right leg, but she moved the elevator out of position and over the back.
I think here. No, she's too.
Yeah, I can imagine her opponent just felt too heavy in that position.
Was the elevation.
I think I see her second foot in there. I think she has some kind of butterfly hook in there. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to go to use the butterfly guard when you're flat on your back. It's.
And I think what our opponent is doing correctly here is keeping tight.
Yeah.
This. I think that's super annoying.
I can imagine, yeah. Maybe she even has some kind of crossface going on again. I can imagine.
So let's continue here.
Still in some kind of smashed butterfly guard. Extracts one foot. I think she has the elevator on the other side. Yeah, and then she's running the leg over again. Yeah, it's basically the same situation as we had before.
Yeah, again, fighting for the crossface, which Emily is doing a good job of preventing this time.
Yeah. But there's the reverse sit passing again, pant control again. This time she went full reverse sit without the crossface, but just used her body. Yeah. It's a tough opponent for her. It's a really tough opponent, especially because she's always seeking out these reverse sit situations. For a half-cut player, those are hell.
Yeah.
because you're lying flat on your back, having the butt or the back of your opponent smashed into your face. It's a tough situation to deal with.
Yes. And then she walks it back. Emily has
Kind of the only thing you can do from there before you get past is try to get some separation before she manages to backstab out of it.
Tries for the mount again.
But Emily's preventing there with the extended leg, which is smart. Can backfire, but in this case,
Smash.
mount denied for now. And that's a smart thing to do. She's preventing the crossface a little bit.
Yeah.
Then she pulled the hand out, but that's a smart thing to do.
She has good frames here. She has very good frames here.
Yeah.
I would kind of expect those from a purple belt level. So, but let's do one for the white belts.
White belts are people too, I heard.
Because we talked about micro battles, and
yeah, I think purple belt is the belt where it starts with the micro battles. You kind of get some clues about it during blue belt, but I think the real micro battle maturity starts at purple.
So what we're seeing here is a frame on the bicep, which is good against the crossface. Her opponent shucks that through, and now Emily is again, like in mount, creating frames on the inside. Like here we have the frame, and here we have the frame with the knee, and as soon as she connects her elbow and her knee, then we have a good frame.
She's even framing the neck there also.
Yeah, we have a neck frame, which is excellent. And we have frame here on the hip, and we have the knee on the inside here. Not yet completely on the inside, but as soon as that's there, then we have excellent posture to escape side control. Let's continue. Smashed again, but connection again. So it's called micro battle because it's a battle. You're fighting for that specifically.
Yeah.
Now she has to go back to defend the crossface, and we're back to half guard.
Well done, well done. I can imagine, since she's small, she's used to fighting those battles. If I think back to my blue belt days, I spent most of my time smashed underneath some big sweaty dude.
So here, and we're back to half guard. Her opponent unfortunately has the crossface. And she goes for the pan grip again. Like, that's her bread and butter.
I guess she spent some time training those passes. I remotely suspect. Yeah, she's making it really uncomfortable for Emily there.
She tries to go for mount this time, but Emily gets the hook in and extends, which is great. Gets the cross collar again, has the elbow again.
Extracts the legs.
And her opponent runs away for the, I think, almost time. If I read the clock correctly. Yeah. So, what do you think about match strategy and what could went better there? Because right now it's micro battles, like at this stage I'd say it's micro battles and match strategy far more than any real catastrophic mistakes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about who has the momentum in the fight. If you immerse yourself a little bit in all the statistics about the mostly IBJJF matches, the person who scores first usually wins. If you frequent sites like Bishop BJJ and stuff like that, they point that out clearly in their analysis. And yeah, I think if you watch some competitions, you see it in action as well. But well, there's different kinds of strategies you can go for. Most people, they try to kill you from the start. It's like the proactive approach. They try to run you over, impose their game from the get-go, and it's a good strategy. I don't think it would be Emily's strategy, to be honest. I have the feel that she's more of a reactive player. I'm as well. I can imagine we share that. And you basically what happened in the match is she got a little bit lost. The opponent, she took the momentum from the get-go, and she was reacting most of the time, which she does pretty well. But from the reactive side, you have to find that opening to get the momentum back to your side, and from then on you have to keep it. I think that's the biggest thing. And she struggled there, and she had some pretty good defensive maneuvers, and she had some spots where I was thinking, there's the omoplata, there's the triangle. Man, it's a competitive match, and her opponent was pretty aggressive, so it can happen that you never get the momentum and you lose. It's just part of the process. And there were multiple points where she could have gained the momentum, but she didn't keep it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yes, I'd agree. And it's those moments where you take basically 3 steps for your opponent's 1 step to catch them off guard. Because if your opponent does 1 thing and you do 2 things, then you're on the same beat basically. And then it's a race. You have to overtake them at the same time. So your opponent does 1 thing and you do 3 things to overtake them. Not actual things, but your tempo gain has to be so big that you are now ahead of your opponent. And now you have the momentum, and now you can crush them. Because then you don't let them back into their game. Now you have the momentum and you continue down your attack chains basically. And that's what her opponent did. Like, she started her attack chain and she never let off to a point where Emily could gain the momentum. Like, we had those situations where
she came close.
Yes, where they were acting on the same beat. Like, Emily defended and managed to start an attack, but that was on the same beat as her opponent basically. She needs to get that 1 beat farther ahead. But those are, in my experience, just rolling experience at this point.
Yeah. I think on the tactical level, she just never came ahead, which happens. It's okay. It's a competitive match, as I said. On the technical level, she was really strong in the long distance guard game. I think she had a lot of moments where she could have entered into her own offense, but as soon as things got into, I don't know, close quarters guard game, so to speak, I think she should work on that. Butterfly guard, single leg X, things to patch the holes between the long distance open guards and smashed positions, so to speak. So she can capitalize more on those. She was doing well. She went for the offense. She went for butterfly sweeps. She used the elevator hook quite well defensively. And I think she could have used it more on the offense as well, or entangle the legs, kind of work more in the closer quarters. And I think her body type is, man, she could use her shorter legs to her advantage more.
Yeah, that's a thing, because on the defensive side, she pummels excellently with her legs. She gets
Hmm.
the butterfly hook back in, she gets the frames back in, and for training purposes, that's excellent. She can get back from there to a spot where she has to fight that same battle again and again and again. Like, for a match, that's not what she should be doing. She should be extending after the butterfly hook, or like out of the middle distance or out of the short distance into her long range attacks, because that's her strong suit at the moment. But for training, get the hook back in, get the frame back in, and then fight that same battle again, preferably with Victor, of course.
Oh God. Book some physio beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're on the same page there. All those transitions between long distance, short distance, try to capitalize more on those offensively, not solely on the defensive, and then you're gonna be all right, I think.
Yes. So thank you, Emily, for the match. It was an excellent watch. I had great fun.
Hmm.
And if anyone else has any matches to break down, we're happy to do it. And thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next breakdown.
Os